Hello, Flosstube. I'm Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, here with my Flosstube update number 281. Today is Saturday, May 13th, and tomorrow is Mother's Day, at least here in the U.S. And I'm going to put a picture of my mom when she was young. I don't know if she was in college or I don't know what year this was now that I think about it. I don't know. But she's so gorgeous. Yeah. Oops. There's a lot of glare. But anyway, there's my mom. Yeah. So we call the Hollywood movie star pictures. There's this one of my mom, and then the one I've showed of my dad, I think, before, the one in his uniform, his army uniform. Anyway, yeah. So I always think of those as their Hollywood pictures. So tomorrow's Mother's Day, and I'm gonna do that cross stitch that I showed a couple weeks ago. A week ago or a couple weeks ago, called Mother by New York Dreamers, I think, the designer. And it's the one that doesn't have any information about the buttons and all that, but I decided, even though I know I could probably order the buttons or whatever, I kind of think I'm going to stitch a special rose thing that one of the previous patterns I had called for. I can't remember the name of it now, but anyway, it's kind of a 3D thing. You kind of you make the spokes of the rose, and you go around and you weave in and out of the spokes until you basically go fill the circle of the spokes, and it makes a nice little rose. So I did that for that. It's called it's the bunny sampler is what it's called, I think. That I did not too long ago, but so I think I might do that, and pick a couple of colors from the pattern and do those where those buttons are supposed to be, and just do it that way. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm sitting in a weird place. So I worked on a couple of things for WIPGO, and I'm continuing with my Maynia journey, and what I've thought about, rather than trying to do 23 new starts, which is what I was thinking. Oh, I'll just do 23 new starts. Yeah, I mean, I have enough patterns, and I probably have enough fabric. There's some, I still want to dye fabric. I still haven't done that. But I still want to do it. But I think I'm going to do what I did one year. Was I think it might have been 2018 that I did like 9 whips, and then in reverse order I worked on them a second day, so I made a total of 18. So I had 9 whips with 2 days each. So it totaled up to 18 days. So I might do that this year, except that it's, of course, the year is an odd number, 23. So if I do 11 and then go back and do a second day on each of the 11, then it's 22 days, and then I got to do one more new start, which makes it 23. So I think that might be how I'm going to do it. So if it is, then I'm on the 9th new start, or 10th. Today might have been the 10th one. Yeah, today might have been 10, I think. And so I really only have one more, and then I go back, and then I have an additional one. It's complicated, but, whatever. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, I am going to show what I've been doing. So, one of my WIPGO pulls, this is the 25th. The numbers are the 23rd, 23 and 25. But I did this one first. Number 25. This is Kind and Gentle Woodland. Ugh, I say this wrong all the time. Kind and Gentle Woodland Holiday Sampler by Karen Hittle of Artful Offerings. It's very cute. This pattern belongs to my sister Eve, and I'm doing it for her. And so I've done the deer's head except for the eye and nose. Then just the head up to where the sweater starts. And then I've done this bunny's head and most of his sweater. And this little sweater of this bunny. And I've done one color of the little ornaments that they have. I haven't done any of this bunny's body yet, just this, but I've finished his sweater. And this one I've done most of it except for the last few rows of the light colored stripe on this sweater. And then the end of his body. I've done his head, but not the rest of his body. So I shall show you. It's a little bit wrinkly, so it might be hard to see. I'm trying to, yeah. So there's the deer's head. And like I said, I finished it all but the black for the eye and nose. And there's the one bunny. And I have to finish his sweater here. And then like his rear end is not there. And I did the sweater for the other bunny. So this is just the main guys right here. I did a center start with this. And I've hit the goal for this. So I'll set it aside again. This is 6 days. And I did a little bit more because a couple of those days I just like stitched for like an hour maybe. So I didn't, get around to it. So yeah, and I kind of do want to finish that sweater before I put it away for a while. And I might, if I feel energetic, I might finish the sweater and those little bunnies, just because. So there's Kind and Gentle. And then my other WIPGO pull, this was number 23, was the Nativity Berry by Erica Michaels, this smaller berry. Now, the smaller berry is stitched, the model is stitched on silk gauze. And because of that, all of this blue in the berry, all the blue in the background here, is all stitched in this model. But I'm not doing it on silk gauze, and I'm not doing it exactly this small. I am doing it 1/1. And this is, Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works and a few colors of DMC. So, yeah. So this is where I've gotten so far. You can't really see the baby Jesus' face, so I might have to go in there and do some back stitching on this, to make his face stand out from his little, pie plate thingy. So it just looks like a big pumpkin-headed blob in her arms there. But I finished Mary. Her robe is kind of two-toned. It's supposed to be one color, I think, but the way I used the thread, it came out, strangely because of the variegation. I haven't done the straw and the manger yet. And of course, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes outside of the I was wondering what that bulge was. My scissors clamped to it. Yeah. But I did a lot of this white stuff there. There's another little swirl up on top and some more star things. And I think another swirl down here. And then, of course, like I said, there's the animals and stuff on the outside and angels and things, whatever. But yeah, so, and I've done only about 3 days on this. So I have to finish Joseph's hair and beard, and Mary has this. There's a little bit of brown right in there, just the top of her. I guess it's her hair, and just a few stitches of her hair there, and then I have to finish his. There's two colors here. Part of the part of his robe here and part of his robe here. Yeah, and so, but I have to go a little bit slower to do this because I'm stitching it 1/1. So, but it's not really going to be a little bit small, I guess. But yeah, this is 25 count Lugana from Hobby Lobby. And this I like this. The color is I want to say deep blue, blue steel. I don't know, something like that. Not steel blue. Steel blue, I think is what it's called. But I like it, except it's cotton and modal, whatever. It's a blend, and so it has a little bit of a synthetic feel, though it doesn't feel like 100% cotton because it's not. And I kind of like it, and I kind of don't. It's a little softer than regular like Lugana, but it's also kind of, you can feel that little syntheticness in it, I guess you call it. But it doesn't feel bad. It just, it's just different. So that's Nativity Berry by Erica Michaels. I don't think I said that. But anyway, so those are my two WIPGO whips that I'm working on. And I still have to do the FFOs, which is the Ice Skating Penguin and the Blackwork Angels. That's still waiting in the wings. But the month is young yet. So I'm also doing, of course, 2 new starts every month. And so I just counted 2 of my Maynia starts as my new starts for WIPGO. So I'm counting Deep Waters, which is one of the ones I did last week, and the Jackrabbit, which I did this week, and I'll show that to you in just a second. So yeah, I guess I'll show the Jackrabbit now. So this is the pattern. This is Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods. So I've done the fox. I've started, I should say, started the fox and the swans, and this is number 3 in that series, the Jackrabbit. And I changed my mind a little bit about how I was going to put them together, because before I thought I would do 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, to do all 12 of them. But then I was looking at my fabric going, I could fit the 3rd one in there. And so the Jackrabbit's going to go right here. So I had to do this border here to, make sure these were the right size or whatever before I could start the Jackrabbit. But the Jackrabbit's going to go right here. And there should be plenty of fabric to finish it, So the only thing is that the Jackrabbit goes a little bit better with the raccoon, which is number 4, because they have these little flower things in common. These two have the trees, and the Jackrabbit and the raccoon have these flowers, but I didn't want to just waste this this last piece of the fabric. So I think I'm going to do 3 this way, and then 3 more. So I'll have a total of 4 pieces instead of, 6 or whatever, So, and I don't know if I think I have, I want to say 4. I do have, I think I have 4 pieces of fabric. Maybe I have only 3, I don't know. But if so, then I only have to dye 1 piece of fabric and not 2 or whatever to make a match. But anyway, so, yeah. So I think I'm going to put all 3 of them on 1 piece. It's a random thread there. So this is Cottage Garden Samplings the Jackrabbit. It's not much of it, but you know, it's just a new start, so there's not much on there. But yeah, that one. And then I did this other one. This is Snowman 2023 by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I did this little snowman. He's so cute. Look at a giant hat. Whoop. I think I bought this. Where did I buy it? At the... Oh, yeah. Keepsakes. This was one... this was a market release, I think. So it was what I bought from Keepsakes. I bought several from Keepsakes. And I want to talk a little bit about that because I bought... I don't know if it was... Yeah, I think it was Market. I bought some things at Market, and I already had them. I think I talked a few weeks ago, right after Market, I guess, about Santa's Young Buck. I have a thing where if I want something really badly, like at the grocery store, I think, oh yeah, I wish I had some ice cream, and so a lot of times I'll if I look at it long enough and sort of like imagine what it would taste like, like Talenti ice cream, it's really like a gelato, and I really, 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 really like it, but it's expensive because it's one of those little small, pint jars that costs as much as a half gallon of regular ice cream, but I really like it. And so most of the time, but I'm not intending to buy it. I just look at it longingly, and if I look at it long enough, it's as if I had it. And so a lot of times with cross stitch patterns, if they catch my eye, like at the attic, for instance, a lot of times I'll look at them and I think, well, okay, I'm only going to buy one or two. And so I'll look at several and think, oh, I really like that. That's really cute. Oh, that's another really nice one. And then I'll eventually pick just one or two from among those or whatever, right? So I thought that was where I had seen Santa's Young Buck, that I had looked at it and thought I would, I'm not going to get it this time or whatever. And so I don't think this one was at Market. I think this was at the Jingle Ball. I was buying a bunch of patterns. Some of them were Jingle Ball exclusives, and others were just patterns that the designers had. And so I bought Santa's Young Buck. And where I had seen it, was one of my viewers pointed out, was on the cover of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. They featured it. It was in the magazine. The previous Christmas or what? I don't know. Earlier, I don't know. And that's where I'd seen it, and then I bought it at the Jingle Ball. So it's a PDF that I bought, and yeah. So I actually am going to, even though it's a PDF, I'm going to do a giveaway eventually. Not right now, but eventually. And so there's that. And so when I was doing all this stuff for Maynia, I was looking through all my patterns and deciding, because I had some that had fabric already, set aside for them or whatever, and others were just new patterns I'd ordered, like this one that I got at Market, that were released at Market. But so one that I bought, I think I bought it at the Jingle Ball, was a pattern by Janine McGowan of The Blue Flower. And I bought a PDF there, Cozy Christmas Cat, which is one she designed. And again, it was one that I thought, okay, I must have seen this at the attic and looked at it and dismissed it and not gotten it. And so the other day when I was going through all my patterns, it was there. The hard copy of the pattern was there, and I had bought the PDF. And I'm like, I've got to stop doing that because I'm of course wasting money and that buying a pattern that I already have. And so I've talked about that. I have to sit down and go through all my patterns in the magazines and like I said, I have a subscription, so I can go back and look at all the patterns that they featured in their issues, and so I can go through and see if the pattern that I like, make sure that all the patterns that are there, whatever, so just so that I don't duplicate myself. And yeah. Oh, and speaking of punch needle, the spring issue was supposed to have been my last issue for this year. That then I would have to renew, but I never got it. And I kept looking for it in the mail and all that, and I never got it. And so, and then a few people, they said, oh, I got my magazine, and they're talking about it. And I think Vanna Pfeiffer had recently done a Flosstube, and she has something coming out in the summer issue. And so she was talking about that this thing that she had coming out in the summer issue, and she said, and she showed the spring issue, and she was talking about, in the meantime, this magazine, blah blah blah, and I thought, yeah, I never got the spring magazine. I never got the spring issue, and so I had emailed the punch needle people, and the email that I got back, they said, unfortunately, they don't have any more of the hard copy of the magazine. But of course, since I'm a subscriber, I have access to the digital version of it. So I could, all the patterns that are in there, I could get. But they did sort of extend my subscription so that the summer issue is my last issue. So that was very nice. Because, like I said, I never got it, so I think it must have just gone astray. I don't know if our mail carrier, has his own personal stash of punch needle and primitive stitcher, or what, or how it has gone astray. But it has gone astray. And something similar to this happened last year. That I remember them saying that they seemed to have an issue with the Arizona issues. They'd had a few complaints about people not receiving the Arizona, the magazine in Arizona. So I don't know what it is, but that there had been some difficulty. But I didn't get my magazine this spring. So but yeah, so I think I'm gonna I might see if somebody has a hard copy left. But if not, like I said, I have access to the digital versions of the magazine. So I started to talk about this pattern, the Snowman 2023 by Primrose Cottage Stitchers, and I never showed the actual thing. So this is the Snowman. I started, this little fuzz on there, sorry about that. I started with the Snowman's hat, and I did his broomstick, because they're the same color. But so there's his tall hat, and then there's red here, and and there's a little cardinal one that goes on top. And then this is his broomstick, and this is where he's holding it. His little twig hand is there, and I think there's a bird down here. Yeah, there's a little bird's tail goes through there. But anyway, so that's all I did, because it's Maynia. I did like one thread's worth, one evening of stitching, and then I did Stoneware Bunny, and this is another one I bought. I had bought one, and then we were at the attic, and I said, "Oh, look, there's a bunny. There's the bunny one." And Eve's like, my sister Eve said, "Don't you already have that one?" I'm like, "No, I've got the other one. I've got Stoneware Cat and Stoneware Kitten by Priscilla's Pocket as the designer." They said, "But I don't have the bunny," and she goes like, "Don't you already? I think you do already have that." And so, yes, of course, I did already have that. So I gave the other one to my sister Naomi. This comes as a kit. So it comes with the linen and the thread. This is Black Raspberry Jam. I think it's a Weeks Dye Works color. It comes with that, and it comes with a little pom-pom trim around this little pom-pom trim around the outside, and you just put a backing fabric and stuff it. So this is the as far as I got, and this Priscilla's Pocket, you can still find the stone there's a Stoneware series of the like plants and flowers and stuff like that, but I don't think you can get the it's harder to get the animals. I don't know if they're carried by online shops or whatever, but like at the attic, I don't think they have the animals any more of the animals. But anyway, so there's Stoneware Bunny. And that's where I've got it. I just did the ears so far. Yeah, and his eye. Anyway, so there's that. And then, this one. I really like this one. I just like, I want to start that. I have what I call my Biscornu bag. I've got a couple of Tiny Modernist did before. I don't know if she's still doing it, but at one point some time ago she had a Biscornu of the Month club, I guess. But they were on the website. You can order whichever ones you want. So I have a project bag that has just Biscornus in it. I have the ones from Tiny Modernist, these patterns. One is pandas and one is giraffes. She had some animal things, And I've done a couple of hers, of her designs. And I have an elephant one that's in progress. But so yeah, I really like them, and even I can do them. They're very easy to do. But this one is by Heartstring Samplery by Beth Twist, Seahorse Soiree Biscornu. And if you look at the details, there's jellyfish and seahorses and regular fish, and there's a whale, sea turtle, and I forget what that's supposed to be. Mermaid who riding on the whale. That's the mermaid's hair. That's what that is. This is the mermaid riding on the back of the whale. There's a crab. There's a sea turtle. Yeah. So it's just a lot of fun. It's just as cute as could be. There's some more jellyfish, I think, in the corners of the underside. But yeah, so it's really cute. It's a really cute pattern. And I just all I did was one of the the row, the edge, the border there. So yeah, that was a start. And then so I think this is 10 and 11, I think. So this, drop my scissors. This is Jardin Prairie, Jardin Prairie. My bad French. and I'm not going to try to say the title. It's a bunny or a rabbit in my garden. There's a terrarium. My sister called it a terrarium. It's a terrarium. With a big bunny and pulling some carrots there. His little feet. Oh my gosh, he's sitting down and he's got little feet there. And he's got a big carrot and another carrot there. It looks like there might be a third one there. I don't know. And some flowers. And there's a little snail. I don't think I had noticed that. And the bird. And there's a ladybug, it looks like. And a butterfly. A couple butterflies. Dragonfly. So right now, I just started on this part of the branch. And I would have started on this flower, except I didn't have the thread handy. I just put it together this morning. I started it while we were doing our sticks and strings video. So I just started the brown part of this branch here. So that's what, get this out without knocking it over. That's what this is. I did a center start. That's what this thread is here. But yeah, it's just the very beginnings of the branch. And this is 18 count Ada that I dyed myself using a paper towel technique. I think I talked about this last week. I showed it last week. Yeah, but it looks very springy to me. And I think all the colors should show up on here well enough, you know. So there's that. And then, let me get my scissors. I just keep an eye on them. And then the other one I'm going to do is this. I think I showed it this last week also. The April Dolce Dormir. April Sweet Slumber? Nap? Sleep? I don't know. By Madame Chantilly. And there's the mother and father bunny and the young bunny, baby bunny, sleeping on this giant carrot. Yeah. So I'll probably do a corner start on here, just because the middle of the pattern is like in the middle of nowhere here. So it's easier to start from the corner and you know, go that way. And I think I'm going to stitch on this bright yellow. This is 28 count Lugana. There's a blue speck there. I think this is like a crumb off of the neck of. Oh, that's not it. That's just a random thread somewhere over here. Yeah. I think this is like a crumb of the dye from the blue bottle of dyes that I had. They just like this little crumb just fell on this fabric, and you know. But it's basically yellow and white. This is blowing it out a little bit, but you can see the white there. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to use this. This is a 28 count Lugana, I think. Or 28 count even weave or whatever. But I'm going to use it for this pattern. And I guess you could, if you wanted to, you know, like they have it. You could do just the sleepy bunny on the carrot. But I think I'm going to do the whole thing. When I get around, I'm going to start it. This, maybe today. And then also coming up next month for the summer, June, July, and August is cross-stitch camp. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a virtual retreat, basically. It's a virtual camp that is held by the Colorado cross-stitcher, Sherry Berger. And so if you want to participate, you have to post on Instagram. There is a Facebook group for cross-stitch camp, but the account of record, if you will, is the Instagram account that Sherry has, Colorado Cross Stitcher, and you do use those hashtags, Cross Stitch Camp and hashtag Colorado Cross Stitcher, if you use those, then she will see them and mark you down as participating in the challenge and all that. So the way it works is there is a challenge for each month, June, July, and August. So you can do 1 month, you can do all 3 months, you can do whatever. But the challenge goes like you're starting something on the 1st. So you don't start until the 1st of the month. And you have until the end of the month, the 30th, the 31st, whatever, to finish it. And the challenges are for June, it's stitch something with a bird in it, anything with a bird. July is stitch anything that grows. It could be an animal, a plant, whatever, something that grows. And then the third challenge for August is to stitch something that, something new to you, whether it's a new designer, a new threads, new fabric type, or whatever, right? So, like I said, there's a bird, something that grows, and something new to you. What I intend to do, and I'm hoping I can get these, and because for June and July, for my WIPGO, almost everything on my list, I have a 6-day goal, except for one other one, where I plan to finish it, and that's the Parade of Elephants. If that gets called in the next few months, I want to finish that one. But otherwise, I have just stitching for 6 days for a goal for any stitches that get whips that get called. But so I'm planning to do the cross stitch camp challenges. So each of my cross stitch my camp pieces are on the small side. So this one is by the Sweetheart Tree, and this is actually this one actually hits all three challenges, but you can only use one. So this one has a bird in it, obviously, and this is a new to me designer too. I've never done anything by her before, but I've had this pattern for a while. I got it in the attic, and it's called Itty Bitty Kitty and the Baby Robin. So there's a kitty and there's a baby robin in the nest. And so it's small. It's just what size is the size? 35 by 35. But there is some over 1 on the bird, I think, is over 1. And 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 there's some like quarter stitches or whatever. But but it's only 35 by 35. So there's that. So that I think I'm going to do for June. For July, something that grows. This is Noah's Christmas Ark by Paulette Stewart of Plum Street. And so there's quails and squirrels. And either one qualifies as something that grows. The squirrels has a plant there. There's a snowman. But I'm going to do, I think, the whales, just because, I just love them. They're adorable. And they have seaweed, whales, they all grow, So I think this is what I'm going to do for August, is these whales here. And each of these is only 56 by 56, so it shouldn't be a problem. And then for August, the challenge, do something new. I have a couple of these bendy stitchy designs, but I've never done them. So this would be a new designer for me. And this is Christmas Moose by Bendy Stitchy, and this came out a few years ago. But so that's cute. And this is only 49 by 52. And it uses a DMC floss in a toile on there, on one color of a toile. The rest are just regular DMC. Yeah. So this is my August piece. So that, make sure I don't lose those scissors. I'm going to see what I'm up to as far as new starts goes. And like I said, I want to reverse course, go back and work on the things a second day. I did like not get around to doing the new start on a couple of, well, the Jackrabbit thing, it took me 2 days actually. I spent 2 days on it because I had to, in order to start the Jackrabbit, and that was my new start, I had to put that border in between the swans and the Jackrabbit. I had to do the border so that I knew exactly, where to put it. And so so I thought, well, I'll just stitch, one length of thread. But I guess it's kind of long. I had kind of a long length somehow because I'm stitching 2 over 2, and somehow that little line of the border, I didn't go all the way down. I just did it until I ran out of thread, but it took me forever for some reason. So I didn't start on the Jackrabbit until the next night because I was also stitching on I think Kind of Gentle, but so yeah, or maybe I had already switched to the Nativity Berry by then, but it took me quite a while to just slog through getting all those stitches in for the border, and then I finally got to the Jackrabbit, and and I stitched it. I basically stitched like one little like kind of branch or vine segment, and a flower on the end, except I had to do the flower basically twice. Because I went all the way around and I thought, this isn't right. It's like one off or something. It's something weird. And I figured out what was wrong with it. I had done something, I miscounted or something. I didn't made one thing too long or not long enough, whatever. And so the whole flower was off. And so I thought, do I want to fudge it and just leave it or not? And so I took it all out and redid it correctly. So I like the flower so much I did it twice. Yeah, but yeah. So I want to go through again, and I've been trying to keep track of it in my little calendar thing. So like I said, I think today and tomorrow or whenever I get around to doing the other one. I'm going to be my 11th, and then I'll flip it and go back and do another day on them. But I did have a couple of days where I just didn't do a new start just because. But I'm still going to try to get a total of 23 new starts for 2023. It's just like my sister was telling me. It's self-imposed. It's all, if I say, oh, I have to, all this stuff I have to do. It's like, yeah, the only reason I have to do it is because I said I would do it, because I wanted to do it. I chose, I decided, I imposed it on myself. It's not like a work deadline or something where your boss tells you, you better get this done tomorrow or else. So, yeah. So there's no cross-stitch police. There's no such thing as cross-stitch police. And nobody's going to kill me if I don't do, 22 new starts or however many I said I was going to do. And, it's all just up to me. So, whatever. Anyway, it's a long way to say that's what I'm doing this month. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is, and this is something that we shared on our Sticks or Strings video, is that the other day I found a scorpion in the bathroom. And, since I moved out here to Arizona, I've been afraid that I was going to encounter a scorpion because, of course, they're common out here. And, growing up in New Mexico, I know there are probably scorpions out there, but I've never encountered one. And actually, a few years before I moved out here, I think in 2009-ish or thereabouts, we rented this place in Sedona, and I guess it's like you would call it a homestead. It wasn't exactly a cabin. It was more like a homestead. That once upon a time, it was like, I don't know, a cattle ranch, and then it was part of a farm, and then it was, but it's been around forever. This building, this structure, and it's basically a home. Like I said, not exactly a cabin. It's not rustic. Like, I don't know. Maybe you would call it a cabin. But like, so there's like a living room, and there's I think a screened-in porch on the outside that had a long table there. Like if you want to eat, eat dinner or breakfast or whatever out there, you could do it with, screened in, and there were several bedrooms, which was nice because my parents were in one, and Mark and Naomi were in another with Hannah. I think she was pretty young. She was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, and Rob and Eli were sleeping on the couches in the living room, and then Eve and I were sleeping in what was the kitchen maid's quarters or whatever on the end of the house. So there was like the bedrooms were on this end, and the living room, and then the little servant quarters bedroom over here. So there's a bathroom right there by that back door, and the bedroom that we had a beautiful like picture window, beautiful picture of this mountain in Sedona, and everything. And I think there were two kitchens. So there's like a regular kitchen and a summer kitchen, something like that. It was but anyway, so we were in that back bedroom, and across from it there was a back door, kind of a door to the yard, as well as the main front door. But so there was a door there, and that door was kind of like, had like, it was kind of old and had some cracks in it, but it had like big gaps. And it's like, that's really not a great door. But there were all kinds of like, bugs and critters and wildlife and whatever. I think we saw a coyote up there, and a skunk and some other animals, a big giant praying mantis, and I don't know what all. But we saw scorpions. We had scorpions there. We noticed them, I think, when we first got there that evening when we were unloading everything from the car. They were all over. I think, how mother scorpions carry their baby scorpions on their back. It's kind of like that. Like these little baby scorpions had just hatched, and so they were everywhere. And there was a rule in this cabin. I think it's like owned by the Forest Service or something like that. You can rent it. They rent it out. And so one of the rules was, that you can take your dog up there, but you can't let it in the house, right? So we had my mom's dog, Joy, I guess, and maybe it was. I don't know, but the dog, we couldn't bring it in, and they said, well, you can have him sleep on the porch, right, in the kennel on the porch, and so that was what our plan was. But then with all the scorpions, we can't do that. The dog, it's gonna, we can't control what bugs, and so the poor dog had to sleep in the van. It was not very nice, and we weren't up there a long time, but Anyway, so in the middle of the night, I got up to go to the restroom in this little restroom right across from that cracked door, and I think as I was coming out, I just barely saw it because it was like there was a rug right there by the door, and this tiny scorpion, little bitty scorpion, blended into that rug. I just happened to notice it, and I'm like, oh my God. And so I was able to squish it, I guess. But I was terrified of it. Well, so the other night, Tuesday, I guess it was Tuesday night, in the middle of the night, I got up to go to the restroom, and it was like 1:30ish, and fortunately, I noticed, as I was walking in, just like happened to notice that my nephew was still up. He was watching TV or something. and my older sister had already gone to bed, gone to her room. She was still awake, but she had gone to bed. And so I was there. I went to the restroom, and the bathroom is like narrow, long and narrow, and so there's the 2 sinks, and then the toilet and the bathtub shower. And so it's, so the wall facing you as you're sitting on the toilet, the wall facing you is like maybe 2 feet away from you, And we have a freestanding toilet paper roll thing. And so it was there in front of me, and I went to move it. And as I moved it, I saw on the baseboard in front of me this little scorpion, probably an adult female scorpion. They're like 2 inches long, these little Sonoran something or other scorpions. But I was like, and I was like kind of afraid that like if I flush the toilet, is it gonna spook it and make it run somewhere, And I was, in the bathroom with my bare feet and everything else. And so I sort of, pulled up my pants quickly and kind of ran to the door. It's like, Robert, come and squish this scorpion. And fortunately he did. So, some time ago I saw this, I was watching some documentary or something about, I think it was about William the Conqueror. It was that his father was called Robert the Magnificent. And so I was jokingly calling Robert the Magnificent, my nephew Robert. And so now I've called him Robert the Magnificent, the Scorpion King, because he killed that scorpion. It was like freaking me out. And so now it's like for the past few days, I'm like, every time I go in the bathroom, when I turn the light on, I'm like looking around, like, make sure there's not a scorpion in here. And that we were trying to kind of determine, how the scorpion could have come in, because we have Terminex, and they're supposed to spray to keep the scorpions out. Is one of the things, as well as other critters, whatever. And so we were like, I thought Terminex was supposed to, take care of that sort of thing. And then we realized a couple of things. My nephew had gone to the mountains not too long ago, and so we thought, well, theoretically he could have hitched a ride on any of his stuff, that he brought back from camping. And but also I get a Chewy delivery. I have a couple of them, one with cat litter and one with cat food that comes from Chewy. And so when the boxes are delivered, they're left out on the porch, and they sit out there, and who knows, the bug could get in them in there. And then I take the boxes in the garage till I need them. And so, it could have been in the garage, and the bathroom is kind of across the hallway from the garage door, so it's not that hard for if a bug guy somehow got in or whatever. But I was thinking, I was going back and forth to that garage in my bare feet, like dumping out the recycling and getting that Chewy box and things like that. So I don't know how the scorpion could have come in anyway, So yeah, but it was freaking me out. So I was going out there in my bare feet. And so a little bit freaked out about the scorpion this week. But anyway, so yeah. So I'm that's enough about all that stuff. So I have, like I said, a couple of more new starts to make it 23 for this month to do not 11 of them, to do a second day on each of the 11 starts, which is kind of fun because every time I start, I'm like, ooh, I really like this, I want to do it. And so having a second day on each of those will be fun. And then, like I said, I could do one more to make 23. And that'll be my Maynia. I still have to do my FFOs for this month, and I want to do a little. In fact, I have a few more days of the Nativity berry, and I want to finish, do a little bit more on kind of gentle, just so I can finish off that sweater and things like that. Anyway, so that's my plans for the next week, as well as tomorrow's Mother's Day. So I'm going to be stitching on that one piece in honor of my mother. And I think that's it. So I don't have any haul. I've been trying to be good. I've been thinking about going to the attic because I thought, well, maybe they have a copy of that magazine. Maybe I could get a hard copy, because I don't mind the fact that I have the digital access to the digital copies, but I like having the magazine in my hand. Of course, I need to sit down and write down what patterns are offered in the magazine so that I don't duplicate them, again. So that's another one of my sort of ongoing projects, is to and I have a stack this thick of patterns that I've bought, here and there, either online or at the attic or wherever. And now I'm a little haunted by those two patterns that I found that were, that I already had, Cozy Christmas Cat and Santa's Young Buck. So I need to go through and make sure I don't duplicate myself again. But anyway, so that is all. And I think next week, so I have more to show you, so I can show you next week. And that's it for me. So I'll see you next time. And thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, before I go, don't forget to check out our Etsy shop, Three Sisters Creative. There's a sale going on there, 25% off of a purchase of $25 or more. And the link will be in the description box below. Okay, that's it. So I will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.